Hello everyone, welcome to our data analysis related classes. And today we are simply going to discuss about data science process. And in the data science process, we are going to discuss, let's say this is our real world. So we'll start from here. This is our real world. And in the real world, there are a lot of events going on. Every event is contributing to some sort of data. Okay, so for example, a cricket match is going on. After cricket match ends, or even during the cricket match, there is a lot of data. When elections are going on, and when an election happens, then also there is a lot of data. A birth happens, a death happens, anything that happens in the world basically has some data, some information. And all this information is basically a raw data. Okay, it is unstructured. It does not have any kind of a schema. It is basically pure unstructured data. So the process starts with collecting of this raw data. Okay, so we will start with this raw data collection, and this raw data collection is done through a lot of means. Like you can use surveys, you can use web scraping, you can use simple data storing techniques, etc., and you will have this raw data collection. Now once this raw data is collected, then becomes then we proceed with data processing. Okay, so after this raw data is collected, we do some data processing. So now there are bunch of steps. So one of them is data processing. We process the data, like loading the data, changing it into usable format, changing it into such a format that we can simply analyze that data. And after doing processing, we that processed data may or may not be of best use. So after data processing, the steps that we will do and learn in this course are data cleaning also, right? Like we will clean the data. So this is going to be a step. So where is that raw data, how we will do data processing, then cleaning. For example, suppose there is a data set, and in that data set there are a lot of missing values, right? So we will do data cleaning. We will guess that missing data, and after guessing that missing data, we will work on it, right? And then after data cleaning comes a very important thing, that is data modeling. That you will create a model where your data, your structured data is going to be stored. Let's say there are n number of tables, so all those n number of tables will be there. And if anything is not clear right now, okay, if you are not sure what are the meaning of these different terms, so that is going to be our course. Okay, in every section we are going to learn something. So there is a real world. In the real world, a lot of events are happening, and because of those events there is raw data. For example, if I ask you what is your name, right? If I ask you, so you are four people here, okay, who have joined the class right now. And if I open a simple Excel file, if I store your information like this: name, what is your age, what is your city, and etc., etc., right? So if I ask what is your name, you will say, someone will say my name is Shubham. Okay, we have, let's say I'm just guessing the age, let's say 22. City is Lucknow. Okay, then we have Mohan with us, let's say 23. City is Chennai. Then we have Shahadat with us, I will say 23, and Shahjahanpur. So now a raw data that I had, I have tried to convert that raw data into a structured data. Okay. Now this data has name, age, and city as headers, and we have some values over here. Okay. So that's what is the meaning of raw data. Like people have joined the class, that is an event, and we are trying to store some information of that event here in terms of a tabular form or in a tabular form. Okay, so this is what is important here. So here you can see, you all have to remember this step. Okay, now between data processing, data cleaning, and modeling, then we have the exploratory analysis. So here is something that once we have done the data processing, we can proceed with exploratory analysis. Okay, so here I am going to write exploratory analysis and visualization. So this is exploratory data analysis. Okay, in exploratory analysis we are going to be discussing about at least 30 different data sets, and on those 30 different data sets for EDA we are going to use multiple tools. I will just name them also. After exploratory data analysis also we do modeling. So it is not just data modeling, it is basically modeling. So you will learn what is the purpose of this. So we will have that. Okay, so today you all are going to revise this, and I am going to make this very much easier for you also. So this is exploratory data analysis. After exploratory data analysis we will do modeling. Then after modeling, okay, after EDA, after modeling, we have other steps, like we have some other steps here, and those will be the steps that are the final stages. That once you have got some knowledge about the data, once you have understood something in the data, what are you going to do about it? So after modeling we do visualization and reports. Okay, so here we will have simple visualization and reporting. So I'm going to name these tools also. What tools are we going to use? So this will be visualization and reporting. Okay, and for visualization and reporting we are going to use three different tools. And finally you can deploy your models also, and so that is part of machine learning, and you can deploy your models, and after deploying your models, those models will be given to real world. For example, if you know about driverless car, right? In a driverless car we collect a lot of information, and then we teach, how to teach about different type of objects, different type of signals, lines, etc., velocity, when to brake, when to accelerate, etc., etc. And then when that model is created, that model is deployed as a driverless car, which is seen in Tesla cars and many other cars, right? So I am going to discuss a lot of examples like that later, and this deployment goes into real world once again. When you ask ChatGPT a question, so before that ChatGPT had a lot of raw data, right? That raw data included a lot of conversations. ChatGPT did a lot of data processing. They cleaned data. After processing data, cleaning data, they performed some exploratory analysis, modeling. Obviously visualization and reporting are optional. And when they created ChatGPT, so ChatGPT can answer questions, that is deployment, and now we are using it. We are asking ChatGPT questions, and on the basis of data that ChatGPT has, it is answering those questions. Okay, so if someone is learning data analysis. So they are learning basically these parts, like they are learning raw data collection, data processing, data cleaning, exploratory analysis. They are learning about visualization and reporting. If someone is studying entire data science, so they are learning everything that is mentioned here. It includes machine learning and AI, etc. comes under modeling and deployment. Okay. So, so far, do you have any questions? Now, thing is, when we are doing visualization and reporting, okay, so I'm going to simply copy this and save it in a different model. So when we are doing exploratory data analysis, visualization and reporting, everything that we are doing here, okay, so it starts with once raw data is collected and data is processed, okay, at that time or somewhere here we have structured data. Okay, what we have is structured data. You can say structured data is very important because unless and until the data is structured, we cannot do data analysis on it. Okay, so for example, I give you a very simple example that we have person here, we have age, city, etc., and this is a structured data. So let me give you some examples over here. Today I was building this very simple game analysis dashboard. So I have this structured data where we have name of different consoles, what type of consoles are they, what company developed these gaming consoles, Atari, Nintendo, Sega, you must have played some of them, Sony, what was their generation, what was their, when were they discontinued, how many units were sold in millions. So this is a very basic example, but it gives us information of what was happening back then, right? And on the basis of that, I created this simple report today, that in first generation, in second generation, third generation, what happened. Although it's a very simple data set which I was working today, so I thought I will just discuss with you guys. So the thing is, when I had that data, so from this data we cannot, you know, obviously this data is good. This is structured data, but from this data alone, by just looking at it, we cannot tell a lot of things. Okay, so then comes tools like Power BI. You can see here in Power BI we have created a simple report here where you can see the information of different generations and their sales. And if I click Microsoft, Nintendo, Sega, so you will be able to see in which generations or in which particular years, during which years most of their units were sold. If you select Sony, you will see, and if you just clear everything, you will be able to see. This is a very, very basic information, right? So on the basis of that, uh, you can understand that once we have the structured data, so then analysis becomes very easy. Now, what are the different formats in which we can store this structured data? There are many formats available. So one, we are going to discuss some of them, and today we are going to start that. So the formats that we have are obviously basic formats like a Excel file, a CSV file, okay, a JSON file. We also have a XML file. We also have HTML tables, but most important of them is SQL, which is structured query language. Look at this. What is this? Structured data. And what is SQL? Structured query language, a query language that is built particularly to query the data. Okay, when you will get data like this, so your structured query language will be used to, you know, fetch for some information from here. So suppose you are learning a tool like Power BI. I'm just giving you an example. or you are learning a tool like Tableau or Python, whatever you are learning for data analysis. Okay, so in that tool, when you will go to the connectors section, this is Power BI desktop. When you will go to get data section, you will just search SQL here. So you can see SQL Server database, PostgreSQL database, MySQL database, Azure SQL database, no, MongoDB, which is an NoSQL data. Okay, so you can see this, and apart from that, most of the companies, whether they have developed some kind of CRM, whether they have developed some kind of ERP. For example, we have also a simple CRM which you can use to understand data. So like we have a school ERP. Okay, we also have a CRM like CRM Prime, just given name as CRM Prime. So this is a school ERP. In this school ERP, you can see we have information of staff and teachers. We have information of students. So you can imagine how many schools are there around us, right? And how these schools are storing data. Like they have teachers, they have students, they have other staff members, they have examinations, they have subjects. Every student is doing transactions by giving them fees every month, right? Every student is scoring some marks in examination. And what are those examinations? Students are also going on different type of routes. So you can see like transport routes are there, hostel and buildings are there. So there can be n number of hostels. In those n number of hostels, there will be n number of rooms. In every room, every year, some students will be allotted a bed. Okay, so who, which students is which student is in which hostel, is in which room, that information, have they paid the fees, have they not paid the fees. So a school ERP is a very very great example to understand how data or a database is managed. We have developed this. We will give you a free demo, like we'll give you a free login, and you are going to learn a live database. You will learn how to create a live database like this. Okay, which is being used by many institutions already. We have this CRM information. It is a client relationship management system. Here business can log in. Okay, you can just go there and register yourself. So in a company there are users, in a company there are orders, there are leads. Suppose company is running some advertisements, so there will be leads. Where are they going to store those leads? When those leads will be converted into successful sales, where are they going to store that? So this is also a live data set. Okay, similarly we also have another data set of transport management system. So in that transport management system or hospital management system, for example, let's see a hospital management system where you have patient information, doctor information, admin information. Like if admin wants to log in and manage their operations, I don't know whether this login is going to work or not. So yeah, I will give you login credentials. I changed it because people were making changes. So doctor management is there, patient management is there. In hospital there are beds, there are outdoor patient department. So the thing is, why I'm telling you this is, from where is this data coming? The data that we are trying to analyze, from where is this data coming, right? So this data is coming from these type of softwares. Every company, every hospital, every school, they are using some of them. Like someone is using a CRM, someone is using, for example, a transport company might be using a transport management system. Let me fill the demo credentials. In that transport management system, you know, we can add vehicles. So you can add a vehicle number, whether it's a 14 chakkar truck, 8 chakkar truck, that's what they call it, or a pickup. So you can enter those details. You can view and enter your staff member details. You can see what type of vehicles do you have. You can see items like onion goes at 200 rupees per 100 kg per kilometer, right? So what is the rate, freight price of onion? What is the freight price of potato? So actually this is deployed in some Kanpur based transport vendors. So I will tell you how it works. The thing is, if they have to add a journey, view a journey, so they are going to like, how are they going to manage everything? So that's why these type of systems are there, and from there comes the data. Okay, and most of them have stored their information in SQL, and you know that this SQL also is like a family, right? So in SQL family, there are a lot of members, and many different companies have created different type of SQLs, and one of them is MySQL, one of them is PostgreSQL, one of them is SQL Server. Okay, obviously we cannot start with all of them at once, but we will start them slowly. Now, the thing is, whether you are learning data analysis or data science, one and the same thing, you will be asked to connect these live databases. And because suppose there is a company where sales are happening, right? Let me show you a company, a very simple company. So it's a Sitapur based startup, Flower World. Okay, they are selling these different type of indoor and outdoor plants. So we developed this website. Now where is the information of these plants stored? My SQL database. If I am going to order these plants, okay, by adding it to cart, I am going to provide my companies or my personal information there. I'm going to proceed to checkout. So it is asking first name, last name, etc., etc., etc. So where is this order going to be saved? In a MySQL database. Okay. And now suppose a company asks you, see, this is our e-commerce website. Now give us all the analytics. Tell us how many orders did we have, from which companies did we have these orders, or from which locations did we have these orders, etc., etc. So here is a e-commerce data. We can consider it as e-commerce data. So for example, here you can see when the order was placed, what was the shipping mode. When you order something on Amazon or Flipkart, they ship you items. What type of shipping mode was used? What was the customer name? What was the segment? From which country, from which city, from which state, etc., etc., etc. So this is a fetched information from a database. But what was that database? A SQL database. Okay. So when it comes to that, we have prepared some dashboard, like basic dashboards, where we have shown some information. So here what we learned in previous, right? Like how to prepare these type of simple dashboards with, this is showing us year-wise sales and some sales forecasting. This is sales and profit by month. This is, here we are understanding sales by different category and regions, segments, etc. So on the basis of this, we are going to prepare a lot of reports, and by a lot I mean a lot of reports. And let me show you screenshots. So like you can see this is car sales analysis, this is coffee production, supply and distribution across 94 countries, this is financial expense analysis, a company, how the company is spending, expenses and income, everything is there. Global air pollution data, like there are different type of air pollutants like carbon monoxide, NO2, ozone, right? PM 2.5 particles. and how are they contributing towards AQI, like in which cities AQI is bad, in which cities AQI is good. So on the basis of that, like countries like Norway and Iceland, they have good AQI value. This is HR dashboard, this is HR analytics, e-commerce data set that what I was telling you. So like I have a lot of them, so I will just explain you everything, whether it is a blood test data like liver function test analysis, whether it's a insurance claim and policyholder analysis. We are going to cover most of the sectors, right? Whether it is course marketing and sales performance, like we are a digital marketing data analytics institute. So for us, it is very important to analyze fee collection by platform, fee collection by campaign, fee collected by different months, how many students have enrolled in a courses, total earnings. These are not actually our earnings, but just a representation. So that is the simple story, and that is how we are going to use SQL, and we are going to get started with MySQL today. Okay. Now I think you have basic understanding of MySQL. So we will start with MySQL in our next session.